Melinda Richards, who worked here and abroad in logistics and shipping and property development as well as government, and now runs her own business. And suddenly she started firing back on Twitter and got more than 50,000 followers and has now written her first book. You Can't Say That: The Demise of Free Thought in Australia. Melinda Richards joins me now. Melinda, thank you for your time. Why did you write this book?
Well, thank you very much for having me. It's an absolute pleasure to be here. Well, I started thinking about writing the book in 2018 because I sort of raised my head, took a look around at where Australia was heading, and I didn't like it at all. So I started to just jot down a few things about why Australia was losing its way, and jotting down notes turned into chapters, and chapters turned into a book. But of course, 5 years later, I think we'd do anything to get back to 2018 now. It's been a journey, and I have changed and altered the book quite a lot, given what's been going on in the last 5 years.
But why did you think you needed to write it?
I believe that we need to fight back. I think that the woke narrative and the extreme leftist narrative has now permeated every part of our society. You know, you can't go into a supermarket now. You can't go to a school or a university. You can't engage with a large corporation anymore without, you know, this sort of woke leftist tirade getting shoved down everyone's throats constantly. Whether you believe it or not, whether you agree with it or not, we're being told what to say. We're being told what to think. And if we actually have an opinion which might be slightly conservative, we're vilified, we're censored, we're sacked from our jobs. I mean, we've lost the balance. And quite frankly, I love my country, I love Australia, and I want my country back. I think Australia is heading down a dark path, and I even go so far as to say that we don't actually live in a free country anymore. As shocking as that might be for some people, that's what I firmly believe now.
Have you got any tips in your book to others about how to fight back?
Well, I do talk about that right at the end of the book. So I think it is about getting a little bit more fearless about how we engage in our own sphere of influence on our day-to-day lives. It is going to be a grassroots movement. Everyone I talk to in my community, in my sphere of influence myself, people are sick and tired. They don't want to see their children being indoctrinated. They don't want to be told what to say and what to do all the time. They don't want the social elitists coming down from on high, lecturing the great unwashed about what they should and shouldn't be saying and what big hairy bandwagon they should be jumping on next. And so it is up to us to start communicating more, and particularly conservatives need to become fearless. And I really had to build up that courage myself. And the reason I wrote the book as well was to encourage other people to speak out and to show people they're not alone. So when we're interacting in our day-to-day lives, whether it's with our colleagues at work, in our retail stores, I think we've got to start saying to people, hey, listen, this I don't like this. This bothers me. This is not aligned to Australia's value system. We want our freedom of speech back. And I think we've got to start at that level. And then people will jump on board. And I have noticed a very big awakening happening, particularly in the last 12 months. So I'm quietly optimistic that Conservatives will start putting themselves out there a bit more.
Yeah, Melinda, I think you've struck on something very important that I've found, that there's nothing more encouraging to other people than seeing at least one person with the courage to speak out publicly and fearlessly. Melinda Richards, thank you so much indeed for your time.